Hey, it's Chris, Liege Games. Let's do this. The roundup for the week. In case you missed it, I also am now upgrading the Patreon. Weekly exclusive thoughts on behind the scenes and Kickstarters, crowdfunders, game founders that you're not going to get elsewhere. Opinions? A little bit of everything. Crowdfunding insights, things to back, things to avoid, thoughts on stuff around the industry as a whole. So, if you're interested, check it out. And more where that came from. Okay, let's get into this. I got nothing else at the beginning, Ramble, so let's just get right into things that are going on. And at the end here, we'll get into a recap of the stuff that's going. And in a couple days, I will also probably have out my second video, the coming to a close of Marvel Zombies, Should You Back. And I'm going to be talking about pros and cons in that one. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. Let's go. Side note here, before we start getting into Thunder Road Vendetta, which is already funded. Hopefully you caught my best of 2021 video from yesterday. I'll throw the link above, but a few surprises and a few predictable ones on there too. So check it out if you're interested. Anyway, Thunder Road Vendetta. So if you're backing it now, you missed the free 48-hour early bird. But you get a start player coin, I guess is what they're going for. Now, they revamped a lot of stuff in terms of a few mechanics, but more so the art. I guess their impression was that people did not like having only filler art and prototypes on there. And so they waited and they utilized more of the actual stuff that's going on the actual game. Now, again, Restoration Games, Return to Dark Tower is hitting a lot of backers right now, and there's a lot of hype around it. Like, people are really clamoring it for it to be good and thinking that it's going to be and liking it right now. I haven't seen too many reviews, though, to know more just than the general positive impression. I was not personally a big fan of Fireball Island, but let's take a look at this. This is a redesign of this classic 1986 game. Let's take a look at the prices here just for curious, because I thought I heard someone say that these were relatively expensive. $50 for the core pledge is probably not bad. $60 gets you, oh no, this is brick and mortar only. So then you're jumping up. Yeah, I remember seeing this. $95 for this thing. Getting like 4 additional expansions. And that's a lot of money for a racing game. I don't know too many people that are like super heavy into racing games. So, I mean, I thought this was going to be more niche, but when I reviewed it on the upcoming video from last week, I mean, this thing got a ton of money even the first time around. And they lowered the stretch goal by 200,000, so it's no surprise that it's funded. But again, that's a lot of money for that type of game. And I self-admittedly would have been in the crowd have said, this is too niche to get this support, but Restoration Games has a really good following as well. So I'm not surprised either. Now, the gameplay, again, you're dialing it up, you're doing your crew, you're having various things that you can do, using your nitro, using actions, using weapons, flying your attack chopper at somebody else. I mean, who didn't want to fly an attack chopper in a game in their lifetime? Now, they also said one of the main differences was that the cars actually are different based on the size, whereas the base game originally, I guess in the first version, that the game did not differentiate between the size of the car, or that there were significant advantages to being a larger car without any significant disadvantages, something along that side. So navigate the terrain, set your sights. I mean, you're rolling, right? Rolling, shooting, traveling, going. Again, full disclaimer, I have no interest in this, but I recognize that this is sort of the thing that people appeal to from a more basic nostalgia standpoint. So it's sort of like Return to Dark Tower, sort of like Fireball Island. They have a crowd that they are catering to, and that's completely okay. But this is one thing that I look at and I go, you know, this whole week of crowdfunding is games for me that I'd be like, yeah, that'd be really nice for someone else to own and me to play. That's what this strikes me as. I would love to play this. I'm not going to spend $150 before shipping to get it, though. So that's the problem, at least from my standpoint. Now, I like the fact that they've got the rule book up already, and, you know, it's chaotic. It's cinematic. It is what it is. Again, you can see the pledges. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for this. It makes Fireball Island look about the same, and Return to Dark Tower is kind of the outlier, I guess, because Return to Dark Tower was something like at least like twice as expensive as that. So, yeah, double-sided boards, car minis. I guess this is where a lot of the price was coming in, and there was a lot of price issue with that on the first Kickstarter. Again, I mean, it's fine. Component quality looks great. I have no issue with it. All the big channels, they threw them all to the big channels right here. So you can check it out if you're interested. And a little bit of more of what the expansion. So 5th player with this one, Big Rig Mini. Okay. 2 new crews there. So what else are we getting here? Bike minis. Okay. The Big Rig Rails. Devil's Run adds more road boards and fire. Okay. But, I mean, that's $40 for adding 8 more road boards. That's a lot of money, though. I mean, it's adding a whole new element and aesthetic to the game, but that's not cheap. Add crews and leaders. I mean, this one seems the most reasonable and the most I would get it for a differentiation. Apart from that, again, I don't know. There you go, though. I mean, they've got stretch goals. They're already hitting a few. So we'll see where it ends up. Again, I have no clue on this. This is one that I would love someone to bring to a game night and play, but this is one that I would probably not ever spend my money on personally. Because again, like cars, I am not a car guy. Full disclaimer. I need to figure out how to change my windshield wipers. I mean, that's like heavy duty for me. So anyway, Thunder Road Vendetta, not up my wheelhouse, but it's doing really good so far. So check it out if you're interested. La Granja, because I screwed it up pronouncing it last week because it's Spanish. I should have known the J is pronounced differently. So it's a deluxe master set. They're going with the modules in this game, which is the new aspect of it. Now, again, I had no clue what Board and Dice was going to put out from the pledge level standpoint. So $89 and $169. What's the difference? Size upgrade. So I'm assuming like everything is deluxeified. Is that basically what it is? Because the stretch goals are getting unlocked. Now, it'll be interesting to see, just having not actually looked at this page before, is the stretch goals going to go into this La Granja size upgrade? Or is it going to be all just, you know, you get them exactly the same at both? And all new art, new solo mode, and like I said, the new modules from several big names. Upgrade set, colossal components. So yeah, I mean, that's what they're going with there, I guess. I mean, talk about dry Euros. You're building a farm around a pond. You know, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. So, again, it is what it is, and this is expensive. This isn't, you know, we've seen, coincidentally, Darwin's Journey, if you want to compare it to January crowdfunding Euro games of 2021, and this was the deluxe price, basically, $89, and now we're doubling that. And yeah, things have gotten more expensive, but have they gotten almost double expensive? This is what I fear. And again, like, why get this over the other Euro games? Do you need this deluxeification of this Euro? Because, again, I'm curious to see the stretch goals, because otherwise, why not just get something like this at retail? That's an expensive get into the game if you're someone who's on the fence. I mean, it's clearly got a backing again, because you're almost at $200,000, but wowzers, right? Farm phase, revenue phase, transportation phase, scoring phase. Okay, again, how does this compare to other Euros out there? I have no idea. I am not your Euro analysis person. I have no qualms saying that. Go ask other people. But is it worth it? I have no idea. I'll give kudos, though, to the rulebook. It looks to be top-notch in terms of the explanations. Again, not reading it for necessarily the rules, but if you could check this out, they've got a very fair amount of explanation of the terms right here at the top, which is stellar. I rarely see that. And they run you through the setup, they run you through the sequence of play with all of these examples. So this seems like actually a very well put together rule book already in the first place, which is encouraging. That if the rules are that solid, then I would say the rest of it is probably that solid too. So let's see, we're getting to the actual, okay, do you back this on crowdfunding? And I am still yet to get to the stretch goals, which is kind of surprising that they've gone down this far. And I appreciate that. So what are you getting here with the big box, though? Colossal components. You're just basically getting, what, wooden upgrades? Bigger dice? You need bigger dice. 30% bigger dice. Not special dice, but just bigger dice. Okay. I'm gonna give them a little bit of flack there. So, let's see. Stretch goals. Here we go. Add-ons. Okay. Wooden donkeys. I'm leaving that one alone. Metal coins. Oh, thank the lovely Euro gods that we have you metal coins. I was afraid we were going to miss out on the metal coins. So, Ladies of La Granja. Asymmetrical player powers. And I don't see exclusivity, though. So, why get this now? I mean, again, I would guess that the deluxe wooden thing is not going to be at retail, not going to be like widely available. But if you just want the base and the wooden components don't entice you at all, I'm not seeing as much motivation to necessarily get it here, which again is fine. But if you're interested, I mean, you want to get it early and you want to support the publisher, then you do it. So there you go. One of the best Euro games I've ever played. I have no idea. But I'll let other people make quotes about it instead of me. So let's go on to the next one. 2022 Crokinole boards. Now, I've heard mixed receptions about this. I mean, it's a good $99 Crokinole board, but I've also heard a lot of people have issues from the shipping with MayDay, and where it's sort of a grab bag, where if yours gets shipped to you and it makes it just fine, well, great. And other people have had more issues with quality control when it comes to the shipping and the getting it and receiving it without being damaged. So, I mean, the mahogany looks beautiful. Or is that rosewood? Which one's mahogany? Mahogany. Oh, yeah, I like the darker wood, but no, I actually like the mahogany better. So, if I didn't have a Crokinole board, this would probably be on the list of things that I would seriously consider getting at this standpoint in my board gaming lifestyle. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't actually know that there was a nice scoring track there. I don't really play it that often. I don't really keep score. Anyway, but I've heard just mixed things on some of the, like I said, the delivery. So, bag, I could really use a bag though, because you know the Crokinole boards are massive. I've got it sitting over here just out of camera to my left, and it was one of the first things in my collection. Actually, my wife got it for us, for me essentially. I think, you know, we might not even have been married. I'm trying to think. She might have got it either right after we got married as a Christmas present, or like right before we got married. So yeah, anyway, it doesn't get played enough. That's the biggest problem. So shipping rates are going to be what they're going to be. And again, that's the biggest problem with Crokinole is, I mean, look at that board. It's beautiful, but it could very well be just fragile in terms of how well it's shipped. If it's like the Amazon bread maker that my wife got today in the mail, well, you know, the shipping box was the box of the bread maker. So, you know, if something happens, I mean, it's going to get damaged right away because they didn't do anything else to protect it around the edge. So, I don't know. If you're interested, I mean, check it out. I have no idea what the percentage of, you know, quality issues or concerns that people have had, but clearly it's been overwhelmingly more positive than negative. Otherwise, they wouldn't be raising like $135,000 in the first day. So there you go. Speaking of games that I would love for somebody else in my group to own, this is exactly what One More Quest from Horrible Guild screams to me. I'll say that right out the get-go. I actually checked out this page earlier today when it launched. And, you know, for such a niche game, for getting $51,000 in the first day so far is, I give them a lot of credit. That's pretty awesome. Now, and this is sort of the one confusing thing when I was glancing it over earlier today, is like, is it supposed to be a game? It sort of gives me the impression at first when you're reading through like half the page that it's a game where you like utilize it in your Dungeons and Dragons, like skill checks and things like that. But also it seems like at the same time that it's a game in and of itself that you just play independently. And so it's sort of got this mixed when you're looking at it here. Comedy role play game. I see Shut Up and Sit Down playing this. This is like the quintessential game that I would see them playing, because this just suits them and suits their sort of quirks as a very positive, because it's all about social dynamics and playstyle. And this game is basically you doing funny tosses on a dice with dexterity, trying to get it where you want on the mat in the first place, but also having to do some sort of obstacle or barrier or hurdle in order to do the toss onto the mat in the first place. So again, this is be something like what they say here, special throw restrictions. That's a better explanation of it. My words are clearly doing well today. Like spinning around or jumping or using your pinky fingers on both hands to toss the die. So that's what you're doing with these little stunts. Again, it's fine. I would love to play this, but I don't know if I could, especially for the price that it is. I mean, look at this all-in price here for a second here, folks. Gameplay Bonanza for early birds. It's $150 for funny ways to throw dice. I mean, it's cool. And they give you your own character creation here of that's going to be physical attributes and traits that you can kind of do. Your class is going to definitely influence how you're going to be playing. And they just, I'm assuming these are just like little like cards you draw and have someone next to you do them. I didn't look into it too much from that, but like here's the little finger thing, here's what you do, and you total it up. But I mean, it's like a party game, is what it looks to me, like a party, fun, fresh style game. Have a good time with it. So, a couple big channels and features. I mean, hardcover book of basically lore for the game. It seems more like a D&D-esque RPG game with a mix rather than a tabletop game with that element, like role player, if you will. Which is fine, but is also going to probably not make people like me as interested in it. And some of these add-ons that you're getting in some of this bigger pledge level, like a DM screen and just a fancier set of dice both times, I mean, again, I can pass on that. Again, this would be something I would like someone else to buy and me to play, but I would be not missing anything because I have a hard time with these games in my group. I just do. I mean, it looks like it's fun, but you have to have the right type of group for this, and that's why I think it's just difficult. But the fact, again, that they've raised $50,000 is great. So there you go. So I'm going to talk about this because it's raised like $23,000, but party game, hilarious Venn diagrams. I'm pretty sure I just summed up most of the whole game there. So if you're looking for something a little bit lighter, a little bit different than, you know, your Cards Against Humanity or your apples to apples type of game, this seems to be that sort of ilk. Intentionally putting different ideas in front of players and set them up with prompts to make connections between them. Laugh out loud connections. So, yeah. Clever, then crass. So, I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate the lack of crassness where people are actually enticed to be clever rather than just crude for the sake of being crude. As then we look up the next one being nipples. Okay. Right. Crass, not crude. Well, kinda. Okay, there you go. What's the price point going to be here? $33. That's it. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, there you go. If you're interested, open relationships, check it out. Nothing like covering stuff that you're completely unfamiliar with and have no clue how to say things about in the first place. This is DVG, Valiant Defense, the Lazerath Ridge. WW2. WW2. I sound like I'm from the time period of WW2 when I say it like that. World War II Battle of the Bulge solitaire game. So it's a solo war game, and this is actually a war game, I believe, not like the other war game that I mentioned last week of Purple Haze, which we'll talk about in a minute. Again, there you go. What is this bringing to the table? How different is it? How much do you need to know? I have no idea. I have no idea anything in terms of these games. They talk about 4 different attack periods, and they each are represented by a deck of enemy cards there that you're going to be rotating through. Again, rulebook is out there. Prototype is out there on Tabletop Simulator. And they even have some preview videos here. Ooh, one-stop co-op shop. I think those guys, some of those bigger channels are starting to get a little bit into this. So, again, I have no idea. But if you are a war gamer, there you go. I'll mention it, and I'll throw it out there for you to explore on your own. Okay, the other big one, relatively speaking, Ostia. So $93,000, which means I'm going to win the over-under bet for tomorrow's video. But it's Mancala. It's based on the game that was from the same designer of Aqua Garden, which, surprisingly, very few reviews on Board Game Geek. I think there were 2 written reviews when I checked it out earlier today. Now, I'm backing this right now, but as I said in the preview upcoming video last week, the main reason is I'm on the fence. Because I've heard Aqua Garden said that it's a very fanciful, pretty game, but people are kind of divided, where some people think it's a very excellent game, some people think it's very relatively straightforward, simplistic, or maybe overly simplistic is the more appropriate term. And so this Mancala mechanism, while you're building the harbor and traversing your ships around it, what is that going to do? And especially, I didn't realize this was like a 1.5 to 2 hour game. Ooh, that might be a little heavy for me. I might need to actually check out a little bit more of the actual video down below here from Miss Merck. But that's sort of what you're dealing with. And the other thing I'll say is, if you have any interest in this, I believe Aqua Garden, I know, is available here, but it's less than what it was from the designer store. And the shipping is expensive, though. With shipping is more expensive than I expected. But with these games, if you're going to get them, it's probably going to be the cheapest way to get them through crowdfunding from what I have seen. And I am someone who has imported games from Japan directly, and I guarantee you it is cheaper. When I imported like a handful of games, like I think I imported like 6 or 7 small games, cost me an arm and a leg to get them shipped. Cost me like slightly more than a CMON level cost for shipping from Japan for a small box of card games. So again, just be aware that it's actually not that bad a deal in here. And there was a little bit of an issue on the first day when it launched, was that they did not really say what was going to be in this upgrade pack. So I believe this page is now redone. So they talk about it, and because otherwise you're getting just the tokens in the base game. And I believe it's all wooden upgrades in terms of the upgrade pack. Here we go. Yeah. So they've just basically made everything bigger and better. Which, if they've got some of the other wooden components here in the base game, I'm probably good with just the standard edition. But again, I need to watch the actual gameplay. I talked about it where you're taking these ships and you're getting the amount of resources based on the amount of ships at your place, and then you're placing them all out in your Mancala-esque mechanism, and then you take the actions that are at the last place of the last piece that you drop off via Mancala. How is that going to work? Is it going to work? Is it getting too simple? Is it too complicated for me? I have no idea. I mean, it's a beautiful looking game. I don't think anyone's going to deny that, or Aqua Garden. But I'm going to be watching these 2 videos right here, the overview and Miss Merck's how to play. So I would suggest you do the same if you have any interest. Again, the rulebook is out there already, so you can check it out easily. Tabletop Simulator, and they've hit a bunch of stretch goals. And these are actually true stretch goals. Unlike a lot of campaigns out there, these are true stretch goals. These would not be happening, I don't think, if they did not hit. I mean, because look, it's like 100%, 200% funded. So these are actual monetary amounts. So solo expansion, if they hit 500%, which is unlocked. Double layer boards, custom tokens here. Okay, score pad. So I mean, these aren't anything massive, but it's something to consider. Again, here are all the add-ons down here that you can get for Aqua Garden and these other 2 games, a couple of which aren't even in Board Game Geek, so take that for what you will as well. And that's pretty much everything. There you go. Again, it's a very, very successful campaign already, regardless of what you think or if it's not for you. So there you go. Ostia. So now we'll head over to GameFound, and we have 2 this week, actually. We have White Hat, which is a revision, a redoing of the Black Hat trick-taking game. This is a competitive multiplayer hacker-based themed game. And now this is actually up to 6 people, which is, again, an interesting player count. And it's more of a puzzle solver, if you will. And the dedicated solo mode, which is also new, which is interesting. I'm a little bit intrigued how you would do this solo, but I'll give them a little bit of kudos here. That sounds kind of cool, kind of different. Let's see. Language independent rulebook is out there. Again, you are trick taking, but you are doing so in a different manner, and you are utilizing the points that are located on the space that your piece is currently situated on as part of that gameplay. Wow, that's really, really cheap, actually. $19. And a bunch of their other games that I have never... Oh, actually, Meisho, whatever this one is. I remember doing that one, I think, on crowdfunding a year or 2 ago. Year ago, maybe? You know what I mean. So, what do we got going on here? A little bit of video. Again, this is one where I'd want to see actually what it is, because unfortunately, I'm gonna ding them here. There's nothing on the page that tells me how it actually plays. I mean, again, the rulebook here is in English, the rulebook here is in German. But give me it not in a video side of things. I mean, I don't have any problem like clicking on this video here, but for other people that do, you need to have something out there that says this is what you're doing, this is how you're doing it, and this is why it's different. I'm looking at you, Jiangnan, which just relaunched as well, which we'll talk about in a minute, which did exactly just that. Now, again, it's, already almost funded, so it's not going to have any problems there, but it's interesting that they don't show more on the page itself. So anyway, if you're looking for something different from a trick-taking standpoint, and it looks like there's definitely going to be a board, and it looks like we're using the board as well as a little bit of different cards, check it out. Also on GameFound, Purple Haze, more of a campaign game with a war game theme of going back into Vietnam. And they're donating percentage of funds to Vietnam War History Foundation, which is cool. Cooperative game. Now, again, the theme, just like at the beginning, Thunder Road Vendetta, has no appealing aspect to me whatsoever. But, as a couple people pointed out in the comment section last week, this is more of a story creation tactical combat game, and with a campaign rather than like a war game. So, 8 interlinked missions, guiding your Marines through the jungle, commanding them differently, backing why now. Each of them is unique, background story, traits like in a role-playing game, and all of them aren't going to survive, and they flat out say that. So let's see. The first large expansion going along with it. Okay. Game found exclusive content, including a miniature. So what's the expansion here? Tunnel Rats. Okay. Unlocked bonuses. All the stuff you're getting. Tunnel Rats expansion, which doesn't say how. Okay, so here we go. This is what I like to see. This is what White Hat was missing. Move your squad one space on the map. Doing a lot of stuff there for just moving your squad one space on the map. Okay, whatever. Encounters. Reveal the top card from the deck. Camping, you can do instead, or story events depending on where you land and how it triggers. Combat, okay. Severe injury tokens that are going to injure your Marines. How to play quick guide, that's nice. Tabletop simulator. And a few familiars, a few different eyes. So, okay, interesting. Again, no appeal to me whatsoever. But again, I've never had any interest in the war game. So, even with this being slightly different as a co-op game, I am still easy pass, but it's doing pretty well right now. 130% funded, 45,000 euros. So, there you go. Check it out. Speaking of Jiangnan, Life of Gentry, the relaunch is already funded. Now, again, there was some criticism because they funded last time and then, didn't hit stretch goals and kind of canceled afterwards. But give this one a second chance. It has totally revamped the page. I checked this out just briefly earlier, and they actually reached out to me and said, hey, what would you be interested in? We heard your critique the first time around. Can you offer us some tips in just designing the page? So I gave them a little bit of feedback, and you know what? They've done a pretty good job with this layout now. Because the first thing I said to them was, why should I back your game? If I'm looking at your game, entice me right away. Why this? Why over something else? And they've gone with a few Rado quotes, and they've gone with a nice explanation here at the top. Worker placement, area control, action tile drafting, bag building. That's a lot of mechanics. So I've heard good things, though. Jeremy Howard commented a couple times, I think, that he was really a big fan of this game. Retail, deluxe all in. Again, it's expensive. All of a sudden, we've seen the price for deluxe euros go up too. Now, again, deluxe edition with the all in is going to cost you $50 more. So what are you getting there? What is the actual difference? Again, going through all of the mechanisms that you can see there. Game Boy Geek has some explanation here. So what do you get an extra here with the deluxe edition? Wooden insert, neoprene mat, playmat bag. Is that basically it? Yeah. So, again, non-gameplay stuff. Okay, that's cool. Rulebook is there. Online is where there's a lot of aspects going into this game as you're trying to basically, relive more of an artistic approach to the city of Jiangnan as it's going through its renaissance, if you will. So, what else are we getting here? There's the insert and the playmat. Quotes. Grogan is going to have a live stream. Heavy Cardboard is going to be doing one as well. Man vs. Meeple, Meeple University, all the quotes, I like that. Oh, there's Jeremy's quote. Stretch goals here. They need to update the graphic, that's fine. Extra action tiles, add-ons that we just mentioned. So why Kickstarter? Okay, great. I was a backer from Mini Express. I tried it, I played it, I ended up trading it away because I thought I would like a train game, and it turns out I don't. But I tried it because, I that's how you find out these things. And I'm okay with that. Again, this is one where if someone brought this, I might be willing to try it. But it's way too heavy and way too Euro-y for me to feel comfortable with just by surface appearance. And I'm completely okay with that. But I think if you're interested, this one actually looks slightly more appealing to me, at least from a thematic standpoint, than La Granja. So if you're like me, check this one out, especially if you enjoy some of these mechanics that they talk about here with action tile drafting and bag building, because I think that's underrated as well, regardless of the rest of the genres or mechanisms used. So there you go. Now we have Hens, a little abstract game. 100% funded. Basically laying down sets of hens, trying to get the most sets, trying to complete objectives that are given along with each game. And I guess there's maybe like a little bit of an expansion here to go along with it. Again, very simple gameplay. You have a 3x4 or a 4x3 that you're filling out, and you can place it against or next to one of the other hens with a number of one higher or lower. Placing your rooster tokens on the group of hens, and then when everybody's played their 12th card, the game's over. I mean, it's a relatively straightforward game. It's a little bit abstracty. It's a little bit asymmetric with the goal cards that you can get. And again, there's enough information, and it's not that deep of a game that you're going to be able to get a good sense of whether or not it's right for you in the first place. So, better quality cards. I mean, these are probably true stretch goals as well with these small indie campaigns. What was the price point again when I just flew by it? $17. That's not bad. I heard someone post online, though, on Board Game Geek that shipping to, like, Australia was going to cost them, with the game total, like $51 or 51 Aussie dollars, which, again, for a small game is, I agree, but that's probably too much. But there you go. Hens. Very straightforward. Doing well. Puzzle abstract card based game. Check it out. Next up, Spectrum, the card game. This is based on like a viral YouTube series, it says, by Jubilee. I have no clue who that is. I have no clue what this is. This is one of those things where I'm happy not to know because ignorance is bliss. That's the only thing I remember from high school English was 1984's quote there. Fast, fun, social deduction party game. So we got a couple party games this week as well. Let's see. 140 million views. Deep, illuminating, challenging, fun conversations. Again, I am not a big fan of party games like this. Just, again, no group for it. Me personally, I'm not really in the mood for most of this stuff at times. Again, a lot of money in this, though. At least at that pledge level. Actually, that's not too bad. $50 plus shipping for all of the other packs that go along. Okay, you've got me. Guessing your friend's opinion, but there's also some strategy, it says. Draw 3 prompt cards, draw 3 spectrum cards, select a prompt from your hand and an opinion how you feel about it. Then you try to predict where you think other people are going to feel on that spectrum in the first place. If the majority are on those spaces, you keep this card and score the points. And then the group gets to guess where you do, sort of in reverse. Draw back up, and rinse and repeat. Special cards that go along with it, and some stretch goals as well. So again, I understand the appeal of it, and I have no doubt it's going to fund. But is it for you? If you're intrigued, check it out. Next up, Finding Anastasia, relaunch Deluxe social deduction game, where you are, the Empress trying to find, or one of the other socialites, Anastasia of the self-mentioned game. 11,000 of almost 12,000, so it's already doing a lot better than last time. It's a social deduction-ish party game, and you are trying to ask each other questions, mark responses, and gain gems as the questions are answered, and first one to find out Anastasia wins. So, there you go. That's the nutshell. Deluxe, $35. I mean, that's fine for a party game price, I guess. On crowdfunding especially. Enchanted Gems expansion. Varying colors. So color must matter in the actual gem portion of things. Okay. Okay. And neoprene matte. So there you go. A couple videos and a couple stretch goals as well. Yeah. Take it for what you will. Finding Anastasia Deluxe. There you go. Next up, Yokai Septet, the second edition 3 to 4 player trick-taking game, capturing yokai. And it's only have a funding goal of 800. That's a lot lower than I would have guessed, but 3,700 already. And it's basically out of print or out of stock everywhere, so I think that's really why they're doing a second edition. So it actually is, not available. You capture the high-scoring boss yokai by getting cards based on a trick-taking game. 4 players, you do a 2 versus 2, and 3 players, it's free-for-all. So what do you need to know about this game, though? I like this. If you read nothing else, 60-second overview. First player plays any card, same suit. If you don't have any of that suit, you can play any card. You win. However, you want to get 4 or more rank 7 cards before winning 7 times. Okay, there you go. That's it. They go into a little bit more detail down here. And, okay, winner is the trump suit and 4 more 7s. A team took 7 tricks. All players have played 12 cards in their hand. So those are the objectives of how you're going to play. It's relatively straightforward. The art is nice. If I had a good 3 to 4 player trick-taking group that liked this, I would probably get in on this because I like the art on this. And I'm guessing the price point is actually relatively good. And I think a lot of the trick-taking people that I've seen sort of floating around Board Game Geek, because I float around in some of those circles as well, like this game. So $17 is a great price. Remind me. $17. I was expecting it to be like $30, and then I was going to be like, nah, you know what? What's the difference between first edition, additional foil, and a variant rule using all 14? So there you go. That's all you need to know. Interesting. I didn't know these guys did trick taking. I didn't know before you played did that. So what's the shipping like on this? $5. Yeah, there's a good chance I'm going to pick up this then, because this is a small box game with a trick taking, because we do a lot of euchre, especially around these parts. So this would be a nice variation. So Yokai Septet, check it out. Now, let's go to the updates, where things are at in the other big campaigns that I've talked about previously. We'll go through a couple of these right here. We'll start with Marvel Zombies. Side note, if you're watching this part, I'm going to be doing a should you back video, you know, quote unquote, should you back. I put it out to the Patreon people. I wanted to know what I should call it, but I will put it out to you guys as well. I gave them some select responses, but I want to hear what you guys would say. Is it right for you? You should back this? Or should you back this? Or reasons you shouldn't back this? I know other people are doing similar titles, but I want to know what is going to make you click on a video like that. If you're looking or you're interested in a game, is it a neutral position? Is it pro or con? You know, what is a title of a video that is going to get you to click it in the first place? Because that's the trouble I have with that and thumbnails. And so I want to know what is going to get you to do that. Now, again, this one I'll be having out in a couple days after this launches, probably at the beginning of the week. This one's going to be the most interesting of those videos because we're almost at 5 million and we've gotten a couple expansions if you aren't keeping up to date. The pledge levels haven't really changed, but the stretch goals have. They've gotten a lot more, which, again, I feel weird about saying this, but I know Alex from Board Game Co., someone put in the comment section that he said that we're playing like the phone tree game. He said that there are going to be a ton more models, miniatures, stretch goals unlocked, so don't worry about it, was what apparently was the gist of the message. Which is weird because at the same time, stretch goals shouldn't determine whether or not you back it. But yet here are stretch goals determining whether or not people back it. It's just this weird dichotomy. Anyway, what do you need to know? Fantastic Four is out there. Hydra with Red Skull is out there. And Guardians of the Galaxy is out there with an extra dice set as well. Very, very split on these. Very, very split on these. Because as you can see, just on this small graphic, the Fantastic Four, the Hydra, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, not only did they go Marvel United, where it's one miniature, they're giving you 4 miniatures, 4 characters, not alt sculpts, 4 aspects of a hero or a villain, either their heroic or their zombie mode that you're just not going to get if you don't get that. And that's 4 per. That's pretty massive, and that's pretty FOMO. Like, when they said they were going big, I guess they meant we're really going big FOMO as well. Like, little asterisks under the disclaimer there. And there's 7 more days. We haven't seen Deadpool. We haven't seen a big X-Men expansion, because this is Spin Masters. Spin Masters did both of those with the recent Marvel United. And so I have to expect that those are the 2 big ones. We haven't seen Spider-Man. That's a 3rd big one that we haven't seen. Are we going to see all of those between now and then? I wouldn't even be surprised if we do. But if all of these are going to be $40 or $50, again, they're all adding slightly different mechanics. You've got sort of the elevator tiered building tiles in this one with a couple different other aspects that you're going defending a portal or trying to get to the portal depending on what side you're playing. You've got the Hydra Resurrection, where you've got Red Skull with his ability to like control zombies, even if he's not a zombie. And then you've got Guardians of the Galaxy, which introduces Thanos using the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet, which we knew was coming because, again, Marvel United. So, but that is already right there, $140 in extras. That is half of the pledge at the $280 already. That is more than the core pledge alone already in expansions, and we're going to see just a lot more. So this is both turning me on and both turning me off, going, even if I don't pledge $410, even if I just pledge the cores, which again, best value, resistance pledge, $240. You're already looking at $140 more. $140 more in the pledge manager easily. Probably going to be closer to $300, not including Galactus. So $540 plus $180 Galactus, you're looking at like $720 total, is my guess. That's without any of the other little side superfluous stuff that they'll throw in here too. And it'll be 1 or 2 more of these as well. So, again, I'm going to be making some serious points on this in a couple days, and believe me, you'll want to tune into that video. I'm laying it out. I'm like pacing this one out for you guys, so I'm putting a lot of effort into this one. Next up, Viscounts. Viscounts is killing it. 32 minutes at the time I'm filming this. You guys aren't going to see this, but I believe they do late pledges, but this is really doing well. $637,000 for a campaign with just 2 expansions, and they offer a whole bunch of their normal stuff as well. But they also say, you know, if you don't want to get it on crowdfunding, if you want to get it maybe potentially cheaper at retail, if your retail distribution network works out in that way, you can do that. Now, I don't know what they do for stretch goals. Do they do a whole lot for stretch goals? I don't think... Oh, wait, never mind. No pledge manager. So if you missed it out, you need to get it all now, essentially. That's probably why this is doing as well as it is. And I don't really think there's a whole lot of stretch goals. Reward levels. Yeah. Free crossover promo pack is what you're getting for backing it. That's okay. So if you're watching this, too bad. You're too late. Hope you got in. Dice Tower. Also, this will be almost done by the time this video airs. 340. Man, I think I put the over-under on 340,000 when I did the over-under bets from last week. And so it looks like I messed up that one. But again, shows you how good I am at actually predicting what things are going to end up as. Now, if only I was better at predicting them, because I missed the over-under on Marvel Zombies, because for some reason I picked the under on the expansions, which, duh, Marvel CMON, they're going to throw out a bunch of expansions. And again, I feel weird about this. I don't feel very positive about throwing these big promo packs and not allowing you to pick them. And the cost is $50 each. And people are like, well, I just support them. Well, you can support a lot of other people that aren't getting any funds and that, you know, need the money to actually hardly be able to produce stuff, as opposed to, you know, people that are getting hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s from here, and another thousands of dollars from paid previews, and another thousands of dollars from YouTube. So, I mean, it's not like they're, you know, going broke if they don't get this campaign either. But there's a lot of stuff on here for games that even aren't out at this point. So, I mean, the temptation is there, but you know, the big thing that stops me is when I look at these, I just never get to play promos. Most of this stuff, you know, you get one promo in a game and it never comes out in the game when you play it. So why am I going to pay $50 for half the promos or 3/4 of the promos I can't use even in the games in the first place, and then the other quarter that I actually have that never get played? So easy pass from that. Next up, Colab, 126,000. Solid worker dice placement game. I'll put my link in the description above here if you want to check out my thoughts on it as well. But it's definitely doing something unique. It's a step up from Champions of Midgard or Lords of Waterdeep, but it's also not heavy enough that you couldn't teach it to almost anybody at the same time. It's a nice combination of dice worker placement when you're taking and removing these minions, and you have to have at least 2 minions on the board at all times. Sometimes you're going to have 3 minions. It's just back and forth of which one you're doing, and then you're building a tableau because these minions are getting you resources, and then your scientist is moving around allowing you to do these actions. And I realized just now looking at this picture, I had this tower actually set up wrong. Genius me. I played part of that wrong then. So that's actually even cooler. I actually like that a little bit better, having many more towers on the sides. There you go. And then you're using those resources and those actions to be able to pay for these cards that you are acquiring off the top of the deck, and then using them to lay them down in a tableau because they will affect each other based on how many they're touching, or which ones they're touching, or how many are in this row or column, or how many are on the side, that sort of thing. So again, it's, you know, it's worth supporting. You may get a better price later, but it's worth supporting, you know, from a crowdfunding side. And I know a lot of people are very interested in these other games as well, with the Palm Laboratory and Palm Island. So again, I really want HP LOVKINS. Shout out to Portal Dragon. I would love an HP LOVKINS. If barring a copy of the game, I would just like me some Cthulhu Cat. Anyway, I believe they've hit a bunch of stretch goals now too, so you're gonna get a bunch of upgrades. That's cool. And they don't have them spaced out too big, so you're actually getting a bunch of stuff. Bunch of promos, bunch of dice upgrades, bunch of bowls. Okay, there you go. Colab, doing well. Speaking of things doing well, Final Girl Series 2. I'm also going to have a video coming out about this, about whether or not you should back it. Again, let me know what you think of titles in terms of that video. Is it right for you? Should you back? 5 things to know not to back. 5 things to entice you to back. Whatever. Again, I'm horrible about naming things to actually entice people, so I need your help because you guys are the ones that watch it in the first place. There's a lot. This is expensive. This is a solo game. I don't really know how many stretch goals they're actually doing in this. I think they are. Let's check. Yep, and they are really doing big stretch goals now because I think they've achieved way beyond what they thought they were going to get in the first place. Digital download, make your own items, signature action cards, promos, a miniature. Okay, well they hit that, I think. So now they got a storage box upgrade, final promo, and a mystery box upgrade. Okay, mystery box. Always intrigued by the mystery box. Mystery envelopes, mystery cards, mystery boxes. I am all about mysteries, but this is not a game for me. I do not play solo games, and I learn games as a solo player to teach them to others, but personally I don't play a whole lot solo anyway, either way. So anyway, it's a new update. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's still got a lot of momentum. It's got almost a week left by the time this airs, so check it out. Well, I just realized when I got to this part that somewhere I dropped out. So, hey, you didn't even need to see me. Even better. You just got to listen to me instead. So, that's cool. And tomorrow's video for upcoming crowdfunding, February. I will have that dropping. There's a lot of stuff coming out next week. First week of February, it's like everyone got their party hats and planners together and was like, let's see when we can schedule the games. Let's have it be the first week of February. Because that's what they're doing, it seems like. February's going to be a big month. Maybe not for you, but for a lot of people. More so than January. More so than January. So, be warned. I've got a couple cool things coming my way to be able to put videos out for you guys. I'll let you know that right now. A couple that I wanted but didn't get, but a couple that I'm really... Yes. So, it's going to be a good month. It's going to be a good month. Kids turning 8 too in that month. So, that's all I got. Good video. I'm trying to do better. I got to figure out what to do with this room. Whether or not I'm going to turn the room around so that I'm facing the other way so you can see the calyx side of things, and so I'm not facing the closet anymore. Or if I'm going to like try and set up a small table in here so I can sit in front of like the table like Board Game Co does, where he's got sort of the table sit in front of him here at all times and you can kind of see and like do it from that. But then I need a second camera and I can't do electronics like that, so we'll see what it works. I don't know. It'll happen. Also, at the end here, check out my video, my top 10 new games releases of 2021 from yesterday. That was an interesting video. I am also going to be putting out a top 10 games of games I played, because it seems like I feel like maybe I'm the only one. I didn't really look at a lot of other people's, but I think a lot of the more recent ones that dropped like in the last 2 or 3 weeks were like anything they played in 2021 as opposed to like releases in 2021. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to do a best games I played period in 2021. So I guess the only question would be, is if you were to be interested in that video, would you care if there were overlap from the new releases of 2021 or just new to me games in 2021, excluding those? You know what I'm saying? Like, not Venn diagram them, but like completely separate. I think there's going to be some overlap. I think I'm going to do it that way. And I wish a couple of those games I already played in January were in the December, because then a couple of games I've already played this month would easily be making the list. So I can already tell you a couple games that are probably going to be on the list for 2022. Like, spoilers there. So, that's all I got. Ramble over. Check it out. I'll let you know. Stay classy. Have a great day. It's Friday. Go play something after work. Or not. It's up to you.